didn't go for Ray and R's trip last year to Hawaii with our wives.
We have a friend of the trail here, Jim Kern, that has some displays along the track. Now his weather station here is the most accurate weather station you can find.
This is high-tech, state-of-the-art weather station for the Ironton Rail Trail.
And it's never wrong.
So if you read, if the rock's wet, you know it's raining. Just to give you an example. If the rock's hot, it's sunny. So if you read that, and you know that's our high-tech weather station here. We get daily weather reports.
Okay, all aboard. And in the front of Jim's place, every little holiday or season or something, he'll have a display in front of his house commemorating that that event.
Put the trail in.
Train yard replaces the one in the parkway. This is a much bigger train yard, big enough to handle two different industries, the iron and the cement industry. When it was in operation, like Bob said before, you can see one trigger out here. It's just all.
Half a mile long, and quite a few parallel tracks, like 20-25 sets of railroad tracks here.
This was the Ironton Railroad Yard, and this railroad right away went over to the Hockendauqua Railroad, right across Everhart Road. That completed your wide.
So they could turn an engine around without the use of a roundhouse. They did it on a Y type setup.
And here we have two trails. We have a paved trail, and my wife and her jacks, they always walk that trail there, because she could leave them loose and that stuff and they have a ball running around. We have a lot of wildlife coming back too. There's two red fox that have created their home here, beside a whole pile of trees. And you'll see a lot of rutting on the trees by a couple of bucks that we have here in the on the trail here.
I saw an eagle by the kilns one time.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah. The railroad, this is a railroad yard, and of course the soil is terrible because it's all ash and coal dust and so forth. So we had a professor from Penn State doing an environmental study, came up with a number of species of trees that would grow in higher acidic type soil. And this is one of them. We put some islands here with 3 trees. Now those 2 are dying, but this one's still living. This, up until a couple of years ago, was wide open and it was a very sunny spot. So we decided to put some islands of 3 trees each through the beer yard to give us some shade. So we weren't successful with a couple of trees.
Those trees are okay. They just lost their leaves early.
All right.
But we had to dig a big hole out of there, get out of the slag, put some good mulch and topsoil in there, a lot of and that'll get up 50 to 60 feet. At least 20 sidings in here. And over past the foliage there, before the development, there's a big concrete dock that's, oh my gosh, maybe like 300 feet long. In addition, this railroad had a passenger car on their freight trains. The last car was usually a passenger car, and it was used by the citizens to go from each community all the way up to Schnecksville. And a person that's a railroad buff, he found a schedule that the Reading Railroad published back in the 50s for the Ironton Railroad. Reading Railroad bought the Ironton Railroad going back in the 40s. And it has a schedule. Hockendauqua, Kohlers, Sidersville, Troxel, Orfield. It's kind of neat. There was a Y over here too. Just past that clearing there was a railroad siding that went across on a bridge across the creek and Lehigh Street and connected with the Lehigh Valley Railroad. Again, we had another Y where the trains would come around. And along this right-of-way was the famous Lehigh Valley Railroad. There was 4 rails here. 2 were for passenger cars and 2 for the freight. I believe the freight was on the outside or the inside. Well, anyway, Lehigh Valley Railroad was known for its Black Diamond Express trains. High rail?
Yeah, that's the defining point.
Oh, okay.
And the freight trains were on the other 2 tracks.
Okay, were the freights on the outside tracks or the inside tracks?
Oh,
I can't remember.
I don't know.
Well, anyway, my neighbor was a fireman on one of the Black Diamond steam engines, and he said they would clock over 100 miles an hour through the straight stretch here. They didn't care about road crossings and that stuff. You had to listen out for the trains. They were always hitting the horns. And that Black Diamond used to run from Bristol, PA, up to Wilkes-Barre, to Binghamton, New York, and continue up to Buffalo, New York. My parents used to tell me they used to get on the local train here, down to Allentown, pick up the Black Diamond to New York City. In 45 minutes, they're at Grand Central Station. You cannot do that today. No how. And maybe by plane, not even by plane, maybe helicopter. Helicopter would be the only way. And then you have to be rich. And they would go in. The Lehigh Valley Railroad carried the finished products of pig iron and cement throughout the whole country. It tied in with the Catasauqua and Fogelsville Railroad, the Reading Railroad, the Lehigh and New England Railroad, and many, many more railroads that congregated in this area to distribute the products.